Lawrence of Arabia isn't just a film. For me, it's an experience. It's one of those rare movies that feels bigger than the cinema itself. Whenever I watched it, I can't help but feel respect for the artistry, the ambition, and the scale of what David Lean achieved back in 1962. It's a film that makes me admire not only T.E. Lawrence, the man behind the story, but also the filmmakers who dared to create something this epic without the technology we have today. Everything feels so real, the desert, the battles, the performances, and that's why I hold this film close to my heart. So in today's video, I am sharing with you 30 surprising and something unbelievable facts about Lawrence of Arabia. Let's dive into experience an epic in cinematic history. The film almost didn't happen. See, the epic scale of Lawrence of Arabia scared studios at first. The idea of shooting for years in desert with a budget that could spiral out of control felt impossible. But producer Sam Spiegel and director David Lean convinced Columbia Pictures by promising a film that would define cinema for generations. After some discussion, studio finally approved and light a green signal for movie. The role of Lawrence was almost given to someone else. See, before Peter O'Toole was chosen, legendary actors like Marlon Brando were considered for the role of T.E. Lawrence. Brando also liked the concept but turned it down the offer. Ultimately, O'Toole's attractive blue eyes and tall frame gave the character a magnetic presence on screen. Filming took more than 2 years. The production lasted over 280 days spread across almost 2 years. Shooting in Jordan, Mexico and Spain under the extreme weather conditions slowed things down massively. Some crew members even quit mid-production because they couldn't handle the heat and exhaustion. Real camels were used in dangerous scenes. Every camel you see in the film is real, trained and handled by professionals. Actors had to learn how to ride them, and Tools famously joked that camels were like the most uncomfortable creatures on earth. Peter O'Toole was seriously injured while filming. In one sequence, O'Toole was thrown from his camel. The fall nearly killed him, but likely he was wearing protective gear under his costume. Afterward, he gave his camel a nickname, Lawrence of Arabia. A doubt for Omar Sharif. The character Omar Sharif, who played by actor Sharif Ali, wasn't the first choice. This important role was originally offered to an Indian actor Dilip Kumar, who is a very popular celebrity in Indian cinema back then. He also liked the character of Omar Sharif, but he already working on so many Indian projects and he wants to contribute more for growing Indian cinema. That's why he declined the offer. Afterwards, Omar Sharif got the role, and it changed his career forever, making him an international star. The iconic entrance scene was almost cut. Do you remember the Sharif Ali's entrance scene? That long, mysterious shot where he appears from a mirage is considered one of the greatest character introduction in cinema history. Believe it or not, but some studio executives thought it was too slow and wanted to cut it. Thankfully, director David Lean urged to keep it. The desert was a character itself. David Lean didn't just film the desert as a backdrop, he treated it as a living character. The vast emptiness, the silence, the stifling sands, they all become part of the story. All these things put together symbolically, making viewers feel the isolation and danger of Lawrence's journey. Maurice Jarre's sweeping score wasn't the studio's first choice. They actually wanted William Walton, but he backed out, composed one of the most unforgettable scores in history. The famous match cut took days to perfect. Remember the legendary scene where Lawrence blows out a match and the screen cuts to the blazing desert sun? Director Lean obsessed over it for days, making sure the timing felt magical. It's now studied in film school worldwide as one of the greatest edits ever. Shooting in Jordan was risky. The crew shot many scenes in Wadi Rum, Jordan. Temperatures scored over 50 degrees Celsius. Equipment broke down constantly, and the water was always short. Even with those challenges, the shot captured there became some of the most breathtaking images in cinema. O'Toole struggled with the heat. In interviews, Peter O'Toole admitted he drank liters of water every day and still felt dizzy while filming. He also wore sunglasses between takes because the desert sun burned his eyes. A film is a 70mm masterpiece. The film was shot in Super Panavision 70, giving it prominence, clarity and scale. Watching it on a big screen is a completely different experience compared to TV. Director David Lean himself said the film loses its soul if not seen on a large cinema screen. Hundreds of extras were used. For the epic battle scene, Director Lean used hundreds of Bedouin extras, real soldiers and sometimes even civilians dressed in uniform. CGI didn't exist back in 1960s, so every charging horse and every sword fight you see is 100% real. The film almost bankrupted the studio. The budget kept ballooning, eventually costing around $15 million, a huge amount in the early 1960s. Columbia Pictures worried it would never make the money back, but the film turned into a massive hit, earning approximately $70 million worldwide by its original run and subsequent re-releases. Steven Spielberg calls it his favorite film of all time. Spielberg has often said that The Lawrence of Arabia is the film that inspired him to become a director. He even supervised the film's restoration in 1980s. The real Lawrence wasn't entirely happy in his life. Some people close to T.E. Lawrence said the film dramatized and exaggerated the parts of his life, but many historians agree it still captured the spirit of who he was, a man torn between two identities and two worlds. The script went through many rewrites. Playwright Robert Bolt was brought in to polish the script after early drafts didn't impress director Lean. During rewriting the script, Bolt focused on themes of identity and moral conflict, which gave the film its poetic depth. The Lawrence of Arabia was banned in some countries. Upon release, some Middle Eastern countries banned the film, claiming it showed Arabs in a controversial light. Over time, however, it became celebrated in places like Jordan, where parts of the movie was shot. The production used real explosives. During the train attack sequence, director Lean insisted on blowing up real train with real explosives. And it wasn't miniature models. Those massive blasts you see are all practical effects. In 1963, Lawrence of Arabia winning 7 Academy Awards, over 10 nominations, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Cinematography, Best Original Score, Best Film Editing, Best Sound Mixing, and Best Production Design. Anthony Quinn's nose prosthetic. Anthony Quinn, who played Oda Abu Tai, wore a huge fake nose to make his character more intimidating. The makeup took hours every day, but it gave him that furious warrior look. The cast of legendary actors. The film's cast included actors like Alec Guinness, who played Prince Faisal. Well, Guinness had already worked with director Lean before in The Bridge on the River Kavi, and his regal presence brought authenticity to the role. Editing took over a year. The editor Annie V. Coates spent more than a year cutting the final cut of the movie. She later won an Oscar for her work. She once said editing Lawrence of Arabia was like sculpting a mountain into a statue. The premiere was over 4 hours long. The original cut of the movie shown in London run for about 222 minutes. It's over 3.5 hours long. Later the studio forced director Lean to shorten it, but in the 1980s, the film was restored closer to its full glory. O'Toole's costume choice were carefully designed. Lawrence's white troops weren't just authentic to history, they were also deliberately designed to make O'Toole shine against the golden desert sand, almost glowing on screen. Many scenes were improvised. Despite Lean's precision, some movements were improvised. O'Toole added little gestures and expression that weren't in the script, giving Lawrence more humanity and charm. A landmark in cinematography, Freddie Young, the cinematographer, won an Oscar for his work, captures the cinematic beauty precisely. And then, those white desert shots and perfectly balanced frames influenced generations of filmmakers. The restoration saved the film. See, by the late 1970s, the original negatives were deteriorating. If Spielberg and Martin Scorsese hadn't stepped in to restore it, we might not have the pristine version we can see today. It remains one of the greatest films ever made. Over 60 years later, Lawrence of Arabia still ranks among the greatest films in history. Its ambition, artistry, and impact on cinema are unmatched. It's more than just a film. It's a treatment to what humans can achieve when they dreamed big. Well, this film is more than just a classic to me. It's proof that the cinema can be timeless, inspiring, and larger than life. What's your favorite moment from Lawrence of Arabia? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like and share while subscribing the channel for more deep dives into the greatest films ever made. Thanks for watching the video, guys, and keep watching the movies, keep learning, keep inspiring, and enjoy the frames of cinematic beauty.